You know what? Fuck it. We're saying
I'm sorry for 2004, and I ain't got no better no more.
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Callbacks.
Yeah.
I am your co-host, Sam Salem. I'm very happy to be here. And to my right, the camera's left, is the realest naysayer in the game. Deacon Dan, a.k.a. Pastor Dan, a.k.a. Lil Dan, a.k.a. Danny Sellers. Welcome, my brother in arms.
It's unusual for you to have such an allegiance to losers. I'm coming in hot, talking about all you weak at, and I'm playing. What's up, little babies? Happy New Year to all the Yamins out there, to all the human beings out there, to all the naysayers out there.
You're still saying Happy New Year, and we're a full week has already gone by in the new year.
Yeah, bro. I feel like, all right, look, people are still saying Happy New Year. Yeah, I got a phone call yesterday, and someone was like, Happy New Year.
Yeah, and to that person, I say, I think the January 6th memorial should be the cutoff.
Yeah, shouts. Yeah,
the insurrection, the memorial anniversary of the insurrection should be the cutoff of when you can say Happy New Year.
The insurrectee. That's crazy. What a time to be alive.
That is a callback.
That's the callback. Insurrectee.
Honestly, it was obviously like a horror. Okay, yes, of course, it was a horrible, tragic day in our country's history. But also, some of that stuff was so funny. Like, there's a video of this woman who got like
killed,
tear gassed or something like that, and a reporter is like, "What happened?" He's like, "They tear gassed me," and like, "Why?" I broke into the Capitol. It's a revolution. I was going into the Capitol. And the reporter goes, "What's your name and where are you from?" And the woman says her name and where she's from. And it's like, these people are not.
No, yeah.
Yeah, like the reporter's like, "Okay, great. Now we know where to find you and everything."
I mean, when I tell you that was a moment in time, I was driving. I can't remember to where, but I was driving when I was happening. I'm like, oh, like, America's not serious. And this is why, I mean, and the funniest part about it was the aftermath. Like, people kind of barely went to jail.
Yeah, no one really cared.
This is a hot take, but they should have been like the death penalty, low key.
Okay, that's a little far, but
they should have been punished.
Yeah,
100%. Okay, look,
I don't believe in the death penalty, but
I guess I don't. Whatever. Anyways, when you think about
time for morality,
right? When you think about someone trying to overthrow the government, dog.
Oh, I mean. People definitely should have been like for life. Like they just got a little ankle break.
Yeah, it was like
you can't leave the house.
It was like a regular breaking and entering. Like, yeah, I got 8 months or probation. Like, bro, you try to kill Nancy Pelosi, dog. You should be locked up, bro.
Yeah, if it would have been a group of like Mexicans that did this, it would have been over. If it would have been a group of black people, it would have been over. But it was just like, I don't know. They meant well. They just care about their country. It's like, no,
they work at TJ Maxx. They're harmless. Have you been to TJ Maxx lately?
I don't think I've ever been to TJ Maxx.
Have you had the ribs at TJ Maxx? They're pretty good.
Ribs at TJ Maxx.
You ever seen those memes where it's like, someone's like, whatever you do, not eat the pot roast from Marshall's, and then they pass out.
No.
You never seen that?
I've never seen that meme.
If y'all seen that meme, please reply so I don't feel like an idiot. It's like those, it's like, because they do sell food a little bit at like Ross and Marshall's. Like,
they don't sell food, they sell like candy bars.
I've seen candy bars, I've seen like jams, I've seen.
What kind of Rosses are you going to?
Marshall's and TJ. There's like always something that's kind of perishable in those like checkout lines. Have you ever bought anything that you've consumed through your mouth from Marshall's?
Have you ever bought anything that you've consumed through your mouth that's like, I really need to meet the word count on an essay.
Fact.
Have you ever bought something and ate it? That's all you had to say.
That is my childhood. Did you ever do the trick where you made the punctuations bigger?
Yeah, I would. Professors wouldn't notice if you change the font to 12.5 instead of 12. It just takes up a little more width, but it doesn't actually look bigger. And so
that sounds crazy. Just make it more. Well, you kind of had it right here too.
Some people care about width over length.
So you had it a little thicker than my shit was a little bit longer, low key. The teachers didn't care. That's good.
I mean, I appreciate width over length. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, yo.
Ugh. Speaking of buying food at Marshall's and all that, I just posted a reel about a little tongue-in-cheek. I actually love New York City, and I do get the point of bodegas, but I'm a little tired of New Yorkers being like, a bodega. Where else can you get toilet paper and a sandwich?
Yeah.
And the newspaper. It's like CVS.
Medium key. Yeah, that's true.
And of course, I know that's not the point of bodegas. Bodegas are like a special neighborhood thing. But sometimes New Yorkers think they are like,
yeah,
hey, there's good pizza outside of New York. You know, so I posted a reel basically saying like Midwest gas stations are just as good, if not better. And this one person was like, well, can you get a fresh made bagel at a Midwest gas station? And I was like, yeah, all the time.
I will also enter the chat Southern gas stations.
I mean, yeah.
Southern gas stations bust. You go to like a rural Southern gas station, they'll have like a whole like mom and pop fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like homemade biscuits. Like,
yeah, you go to like El Paso and they have like just a straight up like it's homemade street tacos.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And the gas is like $2.
The South and the Midwest are really, they got to team up for the coast allegiance. You know what I'm saying? The elite, the West Coast elites, East Coast elites, they get a little too big for their britches sometimes.
For the foods, for the feeds.
We're going to be doing some callbacks today.
Yeah.
The year 2024 turned 20.
I'm sorry.
And there's some crazy pop culture moments that happened that are now 20 years old that we're going to be getting into. But before we get into that, you know, we're well-adjusted modern men.
Are we? I don't know, Bubba.
For the sake of being on camera, we are.
Okay, good.
And we care about mental health. And so our favorite segment, Danny Sellers' trademark mental health check.
First of all, y'all, if you didn't already know, I'm going off like 5 hours of sleep. Recording this early in the morning, so if I sound like a psychopath, it's because I'm living dangerous out here. But my mental health this week feels like when you get to the strip club a little bit too early.
Hey, yo.
It's like, you know it's going to be fun. You're happy you came, but you got to stay a little bit longer for it to get fun.
I've never been to a strip club, but I feel like that's any party or any event ever. Like you show up to someone's birthday party and they say it's at 7 and you show up at like 7:05 and no one shows up till 7:30.
The only thing about that, like the house birthday party sometimes it's fun when it's like the pre-group. Like say 25 people are coming to a house party, like birthday party. When that first 8 comes, sometimes that part is the funnest part because it's like the homies, the right little group. It's like intimate. Everyone kind of talk, play games, whatever. And sometimes when it's like the people that are the plus ones start coming in or the fringe friends or whatever, it's like too loud, then it's like it can still be fun. But sometimes that intimate joint is fun. Whereas the strip club, it's never going to be funner earlier than it is later. Like the
I'll take your word.
10:45 group versus the 1:15 group, it's two different vibes.
Your voice cracking as you're talking about this.
I'm, like I said, 5 hours of sleep, Bubba.
Is Bubba your new thing?
I think so.
I'm trying to.
I'm trying to.
Called me a couple times and it makes me feel a little special.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll stop saying it now. You're gonna be like weird like that.
Yeah, why do I always weird people out?
Yeah, that's
really
like kind of inappropriate.
Socially. Can I say something in the name of mental health? Or you still got more with that?
No, I don't want you to say anything. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Let me look right into the camera as I say
Ooh, okay. Talk your shit then.
You have enough water bottles. You don't need that Stanley Cup.
Oh my
You
God.
don't need that Stanley tumbler. There's a hole in your life that is not going to be filled by getting the Target limited edition Stanley Cup.
Touch grass.
Sir, you didn't get her gifts the last 5 special anniversaries, and now you think a tumbler from Stanley is gonna solve everything? It's not. Use a cup.
Also, it's Yeti gang, bitch. Stop playing with us.
I'm Hydro Flask.
Bruh, hold on, hold on. I forgot about Stanley, weak ass Stanley. Oh, bruh, it's Yeti gang, son. This is bulletproof. This has been through you know what this Yeti's been through? Cross country moves, divorces. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Trenches, stuck in the car, hot, but the ice is still crispy cold. What you mean, Yeti? This is bruh, Stanley. If I see a fucking Stanley if I see one Stanley walk past me today, bro, I'm smacking the shit out of you.
Stanley, you're the ops. Do you have coolers like Yeti? You ain't been getting down like that. Anyway, to everybody out there, also, the point of reusable water bottles is to reduce waste. Some of y'all got some of y'all got your Stanleys color coordinated like it's a wall of Jordans.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah. Having multiples. Yeah, you only need one size per vibe. This is the in the car vibe. This is in the home vibe. This is, I'm on a road trip. I need some ice. I'm gonna just put this ice in this motherfucker. It's gonna last for 4 days straight. I'm so tired. I have this. I have a mug Yeti, and I got a cooler. In 3 different scenarios, my stuff's gonna be cold, ice cold for days on end. Yeah. And I just don't like how Stanley's coming in like, yo, we the new wave, and it's still hot Yeti fire out here to be had. That upset me. I didn't even know you was gonna bring that up, bro.
You're mad off the water bottles?
Furious. Water bottle wars for sure.
I'm Hydro Flask gang, so.
And I respect you for, it's like being a Browns fan. It's like, I respect you for being loyal to where you're at in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I would also like to say on behalf of the white delegation, my fellow whites, we're not the cleanliest of people.
No.
And I know some of y'all ain't cleaning those straws in the Stanley.
Oh, yeah. You got to wash. Yeah.
There is a new wave of virus that is currently being cooked because some little Gen Z white person is like putting these like sugar slime concoctions that they saw off TikTok in their Stanley Cup, and we're gonna have to have another pandemic, and it's all Stanley's fault.
I'm about to throw. Yeah, no, it's disgusting. But yeah, shout out to Yeti. If anyone from Yeti wants to give me free Yetis, I will use them easily and often. I feel like we kind of came off. Okay, that was like your Cat Williams rant. I feel like
I was a little aggressive. I feel like people are like, I'm not listening to the rest of the podcast. If you still made it through that rant, God bless you.
Who else do you not like in the comedy scene right now? We should have a Cat Williams moment.
For those of you that aren't very on the internet very much, Cat Williams, one of the greatest comedians of all time, went on Shannon Sharp's podcast and basically just said, Steve Harvey, trash.
But who do you think is not funny though right now?
I'm not doing that.
Why not? I'll edit it.
You edit all the sounds together, so it's like me saying all like the people I'm friends with.
I promise I'll edit it.
Yeah, I love them as a person, but they're just not that good. I love everybody in the comedy game.
Real quick,
problematic people.
Off that though, we can move off this in a second. Did you see the joke Stanley thing about Cat and the comparison between Cat and Cedric the Entertainers?
Yeah.
Do you think I was a stolen? So for our listeners, Cat Williams lied, but it was also halfway true for like this whole 3 hours. And one of the things he talked about was Cedric the Entertainer stealing one of his jokes. And the jokes the premise was different, but the act out was similar.
Yeah.
But what did you think about it? Like the likelihood that it was stolen or not stolen?
I mean, I think there's sometimes, I don't know. I think it's not as fun for a podcast to not like be on the extreme of a hot take. Yeah. But I think there's nuance in every situation. Like I have never been like, wow, I'm taking that, like see someone's joke and I'm taking it.
Yeah.
There have been a time when I'm on stage where I'm riffing and somebody says something and I go back and I like say something that's funny and then I realize like, oh damn, like, did Danny say that on the podcast one time?
Right.
Like, it's planted in your mind, you're not conscious of it, and you're like, oh shit, okay, I'll tell that person, hey, I accidentally said this on stage.
Facts, right.
I'm not using this again. But so I think there is a world in which Cedric the Entertainer didn't realize it, but I mean, it does seem like he ripped it off.
Yeah.
To an extent. He didn't go bar. It wasn't like Drake going bar for bar, stealing Soulja Boy's lines. But I mean, it was like, hey, you would have never come up with that joke if you didn't see Cat do it first.
That's interesting. I thought it could have definitely been a unique thought and joke, but I also didn't know if the relationship of them seeing each other or whatever. But yeah, to your point though, I think anything creatively wise, not just stand up. Sometimes we see stand up or see something and are influenced by it, and in the stand up, a lot of times we're talking about things that are very close to us and our experiences. So sometimes our experiences are seeing comedy. And another comedian, Gary Owen, he talks about this a lot. He doesn't watch comedy that often for that reason. Especially at his level where you're touring, you're doing your thing. It's like you want to make sure all your thoughts are your thoughts.
Original, yeah.
And I think we're still in a position where we have to watch a lot of comedy to a degree, but I kind of also don't as much. Like, even if I go to a show, I'm okay with like kind of popping in and like popping out, like going sitting at the bar, just like coming to say what's up. But I'm rarely just like at a show watching and I'm just like listening.
Right.
For that reason.
Yeah.
Granted, most people aren't that funny, to be honest, but.
Yeah. Like what we did, we were at the Comedy Store the other day and there actually was like funny comedians on the lineup. Like shout out Luke Knoll, who's been on the pod before.
Hilarious.
It's like,
that shit was funny.
Okay, I'm going to check his stuff out. It's super funny. Catch a lot of his set, but then me and you go back to the green room.
Right. You might not catch the whole, if it's like, just a random show, you might not catch the whole thing, but you might, catch 8 out of 10 minutes or, whatever.
You told, and I'm still a little hurt because in the green room you said in front of a bunch of strangers that I have bad sports takes.
I kind of still agree with that, but it's okay, TT. It is what it is.
I have great
You're a
takes.
Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It's fine. But it is what it is.
I don't let my allegiance to my teams cloud my judgment.
I think you said like something about James Harden's the best black man to ever walk the earth or something like that. It was kind of weird. I was like, okay, Sam. I think he's fine, but
yeah, he's put a lot of young women through college, so.
That is tight. I'm not gonna lie. If you have that much money, you're just like known as like a sniper like that, respect to you. Good sir.
Different lifestyle for me, but all right, that was our mental health check that turned into me ranting about Stanley for no and okay. To show some love to Stanley, I mean, people have probably already said this.
Consumerism.
Someone's going to say you stole this joke. It's probably just so obvious that multiple people thought of it on their own. The Stanley Cup tumblers, they should do a collab with the NHL for the Stanley Cup.
Oh.
Like, why do you not have NHL?
Yeah.
Like, we're the Stanley Cups, Stanley Cup.
I would love to know whoever is, I saw like the headline for this. I would love to know who's the marketing person behind it. Because
there was that article that said like, oh, this is the genius, but he like made it into like a, I mean, you saw the video of people like literally rushing Target and like pushing each other out of the way and stuff flying.
I think it might have been the same dude, the article, I didn't read it, but like they did the Crocs rebrand.
Yeah.
All like consumerism is so, and I think that's why shows like Mad Men or whatever are so interesting and crazy because like look at some of the things. Tiny houses. All tiny houses are fucking mobile homes.
Yeah.
But white people like sprinkled some fucking love and TV shows on it. It's like, oh, we are in tiny house. Like
it's a standalone studio apartment.
Yeah, that's an RV, bro, dog. It's literally on a trailer and it's a mobile home. That's like one example. It's just like it's funny how we just choose to, rebrand something and like, oh, see, it's not an RV, it's a RV, dog.
Yeah,
it's shout out to American consumerism.
People just brand, yeah. You just slap a little Supreme logo on like a t-shirt and all of a sudden it's worth $100.
Yeah. And I get it because I fall victim to some of that stuff too. But I think you got at least, if you're going to fall victim to it, you got to at least, in my opinion, know you're falling victim to it and not act like it's normal.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to get 4 Stanley Cups, know that be okay with that you're a psychopath.
Yeah, just embrace the cringe of it.
Right. Don't act like it's normal that you have 18 different.
Yeah, one for each outfit to match.
Yeah, you're disgusting. And you don't even, drink some water, man.
I mean, there's worse things you could spend your money on, I guess, but.
We do all have our vices for sure.
Yeah.
Any for your callback, last thing, you watch that? You didn't watch the movie Saltburn, did you?
No, I've seen everybody tweet about it. I know nothing about it.
Are you a movie person? We should review some movies on here.
No, you can name 5 of the most famous iconic movies that you can think of, and there's a chance I haven't seen 4 out of 5 of them.
Really? I will say I've been starting to watch movies lately more, just like from a creative like inspiration perspective.
Yeah.
But like, what do? You just like on social media? Do you like watch TV?
TV shows for sure. Big TV show guy.
What are you watching now?
Right now I'm in between like shows that I'm really into. Sometimes me and my wife just want to watch a show that like is kind of corny, just so it's like, all right, let's just kind of vibe up going on. So like Reacher on
that's the corniest, but I'm locked in on it. I'm locked in on Reacher. Bad acting. But it's a vibe. The
lines are too just like, what? You didn't need to.
Oh yeah, you wanna go, dog? Yeah, he's like monotone. There's no like inflection as well.
And if you are that smart and better than everybody, like it'll be like he's like, oh, I'm gonna go find this woman, and then before he goes finds her, he's like, you know what? You want to know how I know where she's gonna be?
Yeah.
Because in college, she was kind of lower class, but then after college, she was kind of upper. And he gives like monologues, and it's like the bad guy in a cartoon doing a monologue before they take over the world.
Yeah, he's the perfect human in all. It's like kind of annoying. Like, yeah. Oh, there's a camera in the room. Well, did you know that black magic was founded in 2004? 2004 was the year that Cadillacs had a V8 in the engine, and she drove cross country, which cost $300. She has $300 less in her account. Now let's go to all Wells Fargo accounts that have less than $300 in 2004 and find her. We found her, and then she's in. Like, it's like, dog, come
Reacher
on.
this is gonna be a problematic take. Everybody coming in close while I whisper it. Reacher is just, hey, what if somebody on the spectrum was really good looking and bulky?
Yeah, Rain Man.
That's all it is.
Big Rain, violent Rain Man for sure.
Just like, hey, you're on the spectrum, but hot. That's
and like deadly, can kill. Honestly, the shooting scenes was the funniest part about it. It's so unrealistic. Like, no one gets shot. Like, he's never been shot or like kind of killed. Like, it's like in point blank range. People just shooting that car. And
he just like goes to like the police chief and it's just like, yeah, I killed them.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, oh, that Reacher. Such a thorn in my side.
He's like not even in the army. He's like
putting a man in a trunk and it's like, he doesn't fit in the trunk, so he purposely he mangles a man's body and he's supposed to be the hero. But me and my wife are just like, yeah, we're good. It's the same as Suits. It's basically a violent version of Suits.
Okay, I never watched Suits.
Suits is just like, I told you, if anyone finds out that you lied about going to Harvard, I can't be name partner at my law firm anymore. And it's just like, why are we? Anyways, that's what. Reacher is what it's just kind of like the let me not.
That's good. That's healthy for you. Sorry for 2004. Go ahead.
Our callbacks is things that are now turning 20 years old in the year 2024. First and foremost, this kind of blew my mind a little bit. Gmail.
Wow. I don't know if that should be older or newer.
That's what, anytime I've like that, the social media stuff always messes with my mind because Gmail has just always existed to me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Gmail being younger than me is weird.
But do you remember when Google Chrome came out? I remember, not the exact year, but I feel like that whole migration from just Google, because you would go on Google from like Yahoo or AOL. It was just a website.
Yeah.
And I remember when Google Chrome came out, and that was like, oh, they're about to. Then Gmail and like the G Suite came out.
Right.
That was like, oh, they're really taking over the internet.
Do you use Google Chrome?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. If I have a Mac, I just use Safari. Whatever's on my Internet Explorer, sure, I'll use that. I don't care.
I use Google. I use Gmail for all of my email accounts for the most part. I like my personal ones, so I just like how it's like. I'm a big interface person. Like, I don't like the Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Or I actually hate AirPods. I've gone through probably 4 pair of AirPods in the past like 6 years.
Yeah.
Because they just are cheap, I think. But I like the fact that they easily connect to like my TV and then my computer and then my phone.
Yeah.
And the ease of use is like the stickiness of the product. It keeps me there.
Yeah, Apple, like, there are definitely phones out there that have like, it's like, wow, that is like head and shoulders above an iPhone. But guess what? I don't want to have green text bubbles, and I want to be able to switch back and forth between my Mac and my.
The iMessage alone, a young look. I was going to say something, but never mind. Yeah, it's hard for me to communicate with you as a prospective lover if you don't have the iMessage.
If Danny's trying to court you for marriage.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's like, I got to be on my phone all the time to talk back and forth. I'm on my computer sometimes.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do?
You think you're worth getting up, walking across the room to grab my phone?
And I mean, I got a charger by the couch, so I could plug it in. But sometimes I want to be on my computer and be able to respond.
That's the other reason you need AirPods, is because if you're charging your phone but want to have headphones,
you
can't even. There's no like jack to plug it in, and it's kind of, Apple's kind of finessing all of us.
Shout out to Gmail.
Another thing that's turning 20, Shrek 2.
The second one?
A sequel.
Oh my God.
That's when I really feel old, is a sequel is turning 20 years old from my childhood.
Shrek, when did Shrek 1 come out? Like 2001?
Probably, because 2001.
What?
Something like that. Spider-Man 2 also, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2?
2004?
Also came out in 2004.
Is that your favorite Spider-Man? That's got to be the best one, right, they've ever done? This is the best.
I like Tom Holland ones. Kind of go hard for me. Tom Holland and Zendaya. It's kind of
yeah. That's definitely second. The Amazing Spider-Man was trash with old boy
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah,
I think Tobey Maguire. Yeah, for me, I think when they do the scene where and like the latest one where it's Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, and Tobey Maguire. I do like his little like understated approach to it, where he's just like,
he's the GOAT to me.
I'm just a little friendly old.
Yeah, like I feel like it was also the best because it was the first. Cinematically, I think it was like the most grounded and like it looked fire. And I think that really kicked off like the superhero wave.
Yeah.
Tom Holland was cool, but
we're a little, yeah. I mean, I feel like we're older than him, so it's a little weird to be like, oh, he's amazing. But I mean, he is a very talented.
Tom Holland?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's one of the good ones, I think, hopefully.
One of the good whites.
Yeah.
I mean, he got Zendaya. Yeah. He's shorter than Zendaya and got her. He's got something going.
That is a lot of LA couples, like little petite Harry Potter white boys and like a bad little black, like, damn, what's going on here? Like, this is crazy. Like a nice little artsy fartsy white man with like glasses.
You know what's a weird combo I've seen in the comedy scene is bald white comedian and like very fit black wife girlfriend.
Like bald comedian.
Bald white male comedian.
But like thick black.
And then just like
name names.
I'm not naming names. It's just,
Sam, it's time to it's the Toxic Corner podcast.
I just want to know what's going on.
Money, jokes. If you can make a woman laugh and entertain, that's like, I think 45% of the battle. Maybe that's more too much. You have to like kind of
maybe it's
like
just also the women are less shallow and it's like bald is fine. It's the balding that gets some of them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Like it's like you only have it on the back and it's really long on the sides. That's like just go.
Or you got to be old enough to where it's like it's cool. He's bald, but it's like he owns it.
But my problem is my head when it gets time to shave it, I'm gonna be a Derek White bald for the Celtics.
I don't know what that is.
You don't know who Derek White is on the Celtics?
Oh, that's the mixed dude.
Yeah, where Shaq and Chuck, where Shaq and Chuck bullied him and his hairline into him shaving his head.
TT. I'm sorry.
What's TT?
It's just like another like Bubba, but it's like like a little like an old black lady would say to like her grandchild. Oh, TT, come on.
All right,
I'm trying to just like be nice to you, but if you want me to call you just okay, Sam. We're family.
A little weird.
We're family, like Vin Diesel said.
we're family. Dude, all right, this is another thing that's turning 20 years old. Bratz dolls.
Ooh, that was a moment. My little sister was on Bratz heavy.
Oh, oops. I feel real problematic today. I feel like if your parents got you Bratz over Barbies, they don't really love you that much.
But I feel like Bratz was like, it did what it was supposed to do in that moment because Barbie was already popping. Barbie was like my generation and my older sister's generation. But then Bratz came on and was like, oh, this is a cool new updated, like, because Barbie was like kind of typically the white girl. Then they had the other ones that was kind of like, they're here, but Barbie is the main white lady, like the Margot Robbie joint. Bratz came in, it was like, we got 4 characters and they're all like Latino, Bratz. There's a little black Bratz, there's a white Bratz.
There's quite a few white ones though. You know what? You know what Bratz was ahead of its time in terms of, I think Bratz was the millennials TikTok, where you see a lot of Gen Alpha, Gen Z white girls appropriating black culture by doing the little dances. I think the Bratz dolls the Bratz dolls came with
the big filler, for sure.
They were preordained with lip fillers.
I also have another mental health check. Asterisk note. We have to stop using face filters on Instagram.
Yeah,
it's becoming too much. I saw this meme and it's so true. You ever seen what's that movie with Will Smith and iRobot?
Yeah.
A lot of you people look like iRobot in your story selfies. Let's stop. Let's just be ourselves. It's too much. It's just like a glossing over it's like, what's that Black Mirror episode where it's like you had to get enough, you couldn't like see people unless you had like enough, you had to like pay to like see humans in the real world.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of us look like. on social media, the stories, give it up.
Yeah, remember when the dog filter was...
Yeah.
The dog filter went quadruple platinum on Snapchat where like... Because everyone was like, oh, it's funny, it gives ears. But then really people didn't realize like, why do I look so cute with it? It's because it was face tuning and smoothing everyone's face out. And now it's just like... And Instagram tells on people because it says the name of the filter on the story.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, hey, we know what you look like. Just be yourself, be confident in who you are.
Either make it funny so it's like obvious.
Yeah.
Don't give me the iRobot face is nasty work.
Yeah, doing like a little like... I don't even know the names of the filters anymore, but... A little Paris, a little...
Yeah, that's all you need. Yeah. Right. Why they name it that?
A little
Valencia.
Vienna. Yeah.
Was it Valencia or Vienna?
Yeah, probably both.
Shout out to Valencia. That's definitely the go-to vibes for sure. Do you have any more 2004
Yeah,
color?
come on. These are all bangers. Freaking the Razor phone, Spider-Man 2, Shrek 2. These all came out 20 years ago, turned 20 years old. Also, this was a moment in time. The Livestrong band.
Oh, shout out to Scammer of the Decade. My boy Lance. Fire.
When I tell you
Fire.
in 4th, 5th grade, what?
Speaking of, commercialism, go ahead. That's
I
crazy.
think I was like in 5th grade in 2004. The way kids were slanging Livestrong bands, like there was 2 different dudes in my elementary school who had the Livestrong Connect, and they would show up with them individually wrapped.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, I got a Livestrong, I'll get $3.
Yeah.
$3 for a Livestrong?
Yeah.
Hey man, everyone else got one.
And it was like, because it was crazy because that wasn't even marketed like remember the Power Balance bands?
Fighting.
I don't know about fighting.
Like they're PHITO, but the things that like made you, they're like, look, push me, and they fall over, and then they put on the band, and they're like, no, I can't fall over.
Yes. Yeah. Was it fighting? Was it?
Those were like the baseball players wore those mainly.
Yeah.
Power Balance, those, yeah.
Like the Lance joints weren't even, I guess Lance was attached to
cancer
research. Yeah. It was like every dollar you was like, whatever. Yeah, that's what it was. That's gotta be at every NBA class case study, like attach a reason, a motive, the most popular athlete. It's like LeBron coming out like, yeah, I got, for hairline research, I'm gonna, send, whatever, t-shirts, white t-shirts to everybody. Like it is such a perfect moment in time for him to then like, if he honestly didn't cheat, it would have been perfect. I guess still.
Yeah, he was doping. Well, what's crazy about the Livestrong is because that was also the era of like going to the mall and going to Finish Line. You remember going to Finish Line?
Mm-hmm.
And so like the Livestrong bands, then like people just started making those silicone bracelets.
Yeah, for everything.
Like you literally could go to Finish Line, buy a pair of shoes, and then with it would give you a pair of like a blue, gray, red, yellow, and it would say like determination.
Yes.
It was basically live, laugh, love.
Yes.
For 14-year-old boys who wore Nike Elite socks and Sperry's.
Yeah. Nike Elites. I have a pair of Nike Elites at the crib right now. Those are so thick and comfortable.
I'm too embarrassed to wear them these days.
I mean, but like, yeah, you don't show them, but like for the in-home comfort of like walking around the house, I've practiced. I played games in my Nike Elites, football games, collegiate football games. Practiced, walked around, and them joints are still not. There's still not a hole in them. They're like high quality, like forever type.
Yeah, they don't make them like Nike Elites anymore.
God, thick ass Elite. That's a BBL socks.
We were at Adidas school in college, so I had to get the Adidas versions of the Nike Elites.
Do they still slide?
It did not hit the same.
Damn, sorry.
All right, last thing we're gonna bring up, the iPod Photo, the first iPod to have a color screen, was released in 2004.
Was that the touch or was it just the foot?
It's literally just like the old,
What does it look like?
Like just the old school circle click wheel.
And it had a photo? It had a camera?
It had color.
Oh.
Like that's what seems so crazy in my lifetime. Like it just seems like everything is like smartphones, woo-woo, whatever. But like the original iPods were literally black and white screens.
Yeah, I had the color. I thought you were saying it was the photo. Was it called iPad?
It was literally called the iPod Photo, and you could you could put pictures on your iPod.
Right, but there was no camera on it.
There was no camera.
Right.
No, not like the iTouch.
Yeah, that's the one I had. I had that one.
Yeah.
It had a white, and then you had the flywheel joint. Yeah. And I would never forget. This it also shows, I think, my kind of bias to Dave Chappelle. And honestly, all of our people our age.
Yeah.
Because when I got that, that's the first time, LimeWire and all that kind of stuff, you could download media just to your phone freely.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I had like 5 Dave Chappelle sketches on my little touch. It was like the Sam Adams.
It took up your whole memory. You could fit songs.
Yeah, but it was like high def HD on my iPod. I could take it everywhere. I like the Mad Real World sketch. And I was like, oh, this is so tight. I could take this everywhere.
Yeah.
Those were, I want to get one of those back now and just put music and stuff on it and just like have that.
Yeah, not be able to have like any news notifications or anything. Just in the click wheel, there's something that feels so good about the click wheel.
Yeah. And you can get like...
I'm horny for the click wheel.
Whoa, okay.
Too far.
You can't stand up like, hold on, let's keep talking for a second.
Dude, the way like you would just like circle and be like...
Yeah.
That was like the original ASMR.
For sure.
Like you'd run your thumb around it and make the little clicks.
Yeah, if you want to give me a gift, give me an old iPod flywheel, like a 1 terabyte. I can just put a bunch of music
1 terabyte? They did not come that big.
I think they did. I'm pretty sure they did.
Like 100 gigs was the most I ever saw.
I don't know. I think that model specifically, they got big. Like the touches weren't big because the touches had like the screen and stuff. Yeah. But I think those models, they went up to like 1 terabyte.
I think we have talked about this on the pod before, so apologies. But I just remember I saved up my money to buy the iPod Nano, like just a lot smaller, thinner, and there was like the 2 gigabyte or the 4 gigabyte, and the guy was like, "Yeah, 2 gigs holds 500 songs." I'm like, 500 songs? I don't even know 500 songs.
Yeah,
and then I filled it up immediately. I was like, oh, damn, I wish I would have.
But I would love to. The Nanos are crazy. Yeah, I would love to get like a perfectly curated, just like bunch of classics on an iPod. I can maybe put it in my car, or just like take it to like hikes and stuff.
Yeah.
And like on trips and stuff, and just use that as like I'm walking around the town and stuff.
Yeah, this list of seeing all the things that have turned 20, which by the way I got from Yahoo. Shout out Yahoo Life.
Still alive, still holding on.
It does make me understand why old people are so annoying.
Yeah,
My dad, love you, Dad. No, you're probably listening. He'll say things like John Havlicek is better than LeBron James, and it's just like there's no world. Yeah. There is no world in which that is true. But the nostalgia, because it even happens with me, like like. Quarterbacks today suck compared to like Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and Drew. And so the nostalgia of all this, like I get why old people are annoying now, because me driving my car that didn't even have a CD, like, or an aux, it didn't even have an aux cord. So I had to go to Walmart and buy the cassette tape that had the aux cord attached to it. And I would plug in a Walkman CD, or I'd plug in my iPod Nano to the cassette and put the cassette in, and it would be a little lower quality. Kids these days don't know that struggle.
No.
That is when America was America. We could look each other in the eye.
Yeah, because you had to really curate sound to like go for, I remember scrolling DatPiff. I think DatPiff, something about they just like archived a bunch of their stuff, whatever, or it might be out of business. But anyways, you had to like really go like, even if it was virtual crate digging, like our parents, they had to go really crate digging and like go to the CD, FYE or whatever, like go actually handpick. Also, I heard it was either Walmart or somebody else is officially not selling DVDs anymore.
Yeah.
Some like big, some big box.
Best Buy, maybe.
Best Buy. That's crazy. But yeah, like even our generation, we had to still like curate music and like spend an afternoon. Whereas now it's like I can just search on my phone as I get in the car, like, this is new. Like it's kind of insane. I think there is some truth to, as a generation, my stuff was better. Some things I think were better back then, and some things are better now as it gets, technology and like whatever. But like art, I do think there is some truth to art objectively getting worse at times through technology.
I think art is still great. I think the problem is it's such a, because of AI and some of the tools, there's a lower barrier to entry,
which is good or bad.
Which is good for the people who used to not be able to afford it and are actually talented. It's bad for the person who doesn't have anything to say and sucks, but they're like, whoa, but it's easy to make. And so I think there's just more of it. So there's going to be...
We're getting exposed to more mid that would previously be gate kept.
Yeah.
And the just chances of things, more things coming out is like there's a chance of more bad things as it is good things.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point though, I do feel like yeah, I don't know. I've been watching a lot of old classic movies. I do think nostalgia is the biggest like deceptive part of a lot of art.
Right.
Because to your point, nostalgia, I guess it's hard to compete with nostalgia. I don't know what else creates that same feeling that nostalgia does. It's like, I mean, that's what memories are, you know?
And they say like literally your music taste, like there's something that chemically happens because you're going through puberty, like 13, 14, there's something that like your brain is forever chemically attached to the songs that you listen to when you're that age. So like forever, you're just going to be like, I love Good Charlotte forever, or like Lil Wayne, the greatest artist of all time. Yeah,
the memories you have attached to those moments are like etched into your brain, kind of.
For sure. Anything else before we get wind this down with Danny's ism? Is there anything else you want to say about the year 2004? What were you doing 20 years ago?
2004, I was in Jacksonville, Florida. Crazy time. Moved from Cincinnati to Jacksonville, Florida.
Had a few bad years.
It actually wasn't bad years. It was just a culture shock. That was the first time I realized that as a country, there's different countries in this country.
Yeah.
And it's forever changed the way I look at people in general.
Right.
But also the world. I went, even racism, I didn't get too deep, but just like, Cincinnati racism versus Florida racism is very different. And like, not even just racism, but like classism and how people see each other. And, at 13, 14 years old, like, this is what some people think about each other. Even just how black people think about each other. Mm-hmm. Like a black person in Cincinnati, how they see racism and like class and upper mobility is very different, at least at that time, as a black person in northern Florida sees class and upper mobility and like, we don't go on that side of town, or we don't do this.
Right.
Whereas I'm like, nigga, what? Or we don't hang out with those kids. They don't let, it's like, bro, what?
Right.
And I was kind of like shown that really without warning at a young age, which is like kind of, I think, changed. If there's anything that's informed me to be a comedian, I know people talk about like trauma makes you a better comedian, which I don't necessarily subscribe to. I think your experiences kind of do, whether they be good or bad. And I think that has probably been the most influential part of my comedy, or becoming a comedian, or like my style of comedy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, especially at a young age, can expose that. I mean, it is crazy, and some of this is obvious, but like East Coast people are like more fast paced. I remember going to like a sit down restaurant the first time when I like moved to Boston, and I'm like, these servers are mean. I'm like, they're not mean. They just don't waste time being fake nice. They're just like, what do you want? Oh, you don't know yet? Okay, I'll come back. Like,
it's different.
I'm not trying to waste your time. Don't waste my time. It's just like a different culture. Let's get a quick little Danny's ism for those new to the program. This is Life Lessons with Danny.
What's up, little babies and babettes?
Little TTs and big bubbas.
Yeah, big bubbas. My ism this week, 2024 professionally. All right, I got some must-haves for all my kings and queens out there. Professionally in 2024, if you don't have these things, get somebody else to do it. What's that mean? Get somebody else to do it. First of all, money. If what you're asking me to do doesn't involve money and the amount of money that I need, number one, get somebody else to do it, all right?
Cut the check. 2,
an opportunity to learn. One, okay, money is, we need it to survive, but can I learn something? Can I, is it an experience? Is it a skill? Is it a certain piece of technology that I'm learning? That, okay, maybe I'm not getting the money, but I'm learning something I can then monetize. Cool. And then 3, it has to at least have an opportunity for self-promotion. An opportunity for me to share my thoughts with the world, my work with the world, whatever. So money, learning, or self-promotion. If your thing that you're trying to ask me to do doesn't have at least one of those, at least one, it really should have it really should have all 3, to be totally honest with you. But if it doesn't at least have one of them joints,
I didn't hear any pens and paper. I didn't hear any pencils writing that down. Why aren't y'all writing that down?
I feel like I have some gems that y'all needed, and I feel like y'all not really respecting it. And I don't know if I should really keep telling y'all this stuff.
Did we make it weird with the Stanley water bottle?
Yeah. Did we come in too hot with the Cat Williams vibes? Because he inspired us. Do you feel me though? I spent so much time.
I think we've definitely talked about this before. It's like, I think there are time and places where you just do something like the unpaid internship, like those are bogus. But there's a time and place where you're like, okay, I just got to do this because like it'll give me like some social cachet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But overall, it's like, hey, if we just all have respect towards ourselves, respect towards other people, let's get each other what we need.
Yeah. And yeah, not everything is going to be, I'm going to get rich off of this, or not everything is going to be, you know, whatever. But it's like, it's got to be at least one of those things for it to make sense for me to take time out of my day to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I've spent a lot of this past year or so doing things that didn't have all those three things. And I'm like, yeah, I just can't necessarily do it.
Yeah.
And also one other thing too, like before I leave, I've been trying a lot of new stuff lately. Like I'm doing a play later this month.
Thespian.
Yeah. Auditioning again. And it is interesting to be humbled by art.
Yeah.
Because art is such a, I guess it is probably the antithesis of, or maybe not the antithesis, like the definition of subjectivity.
Yeah.
Art is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting. It's an interesting feeling to be humbled by it because even though it is subjective, the definition kind of subjectivity, you can still be objectively kind of bad at it at times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been like a very humbling thing that like, oh, I'm not good at acting.
Right.
Or I'm not good at this thing, this kind of production, or this kind of writing, or this kind of, and just like getting better at that and that muscle. It's a very humbling, because at times, you're an athlete. At times you are bad at something that like pisses you off, and it's like it makes you feel bad, and you're like, I want to just get over with and like just learn this thing. With art, I kind of feel like I still get the frustrations, but I also, it's like exciting to get better at it.
Definitely.
So I don't know.
I'm with you on that.
Shout out to all the artists out there.
Shout out Art. I like it.
Yeah, next episode, we're going to out all the top 5 unfunniest comedians in LA.
Look, sometimes sometimes I feel like Danny's recording when I don't know it, and he's going to catch me slipping one of these days, and I'll name names of that person is not funny. Okay. Guys, we love you.
Yeah.
Second episode of 2024. We made it through. Yeah. Please, if you're listening to this, Danny still has his YouTube comedy special. You can run those numbers up. Pound for pound, Danny Sellers, if you search that on YouTube.
Please.
I'm trying to hit the road. I already got a couple. Hey, if you live in San Diego area, Phoenix area, maybe Chicago, maybe Washington, D.C. area, if you go on any of my social media, at Samuel Sleeves, TikTok, Instagram, hit the link in bio, join my email list. I promise you, I will not send you an email unless it is to say, here's the ticket link to the show in your area. This is the date and time. Please come and bring your friends. That's the only time. I will never email you any other time.
In the launch of his OnlyFans account.
No. So join my email list. Follow us on social media. Hey, rate, review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. We love you. Get home safe.
111.